Sodium-ion batteries have been gaining attention since last year as a potential alternative to lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicle application, with battery giants such as CATL and BYD releasing updates on their plans to develop sodium-ion batteries for EVs. This is because, compared to current lithium-ion batteries, in terms of good product performance, sodium-ion batteries offer good safety, faster rate performance, and better low temperature performance than lithium-ion batteries, although they have a shorter cycle life and lower energy density. Due to these advantages and the significant cost advantage of sodium-ion batteries, they are expected to be cost-effective and have been considered the perfect candidate for large-scale energy storage systems, since their heavier weight is not a concern for such application. Additionally, sodium-ion batteries are used for two-wheeler electric vehicles and low-speed electric vehicles that are expected to complement lithium-ion batteries in the future. In this video, we will discuss and review the electrochemical specs and performance of sodium-ion battery cells from different companies focused on sodium-ion batteries for mobile applications, and evaluate the possibility of using sodium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. Hello friends, and welcome to The Electrochemist. Thank you for tuning into the channel. On this channel, we discuss all things battery development, existing lithium-ion batteries, new and emerging battery systems, battery supply chain, battery production, and battery application. If this is something that interests you, please subscribe to this channel, smash the like button, and keep watching. There are several companies in the sodium-ion battery development space, such as Francis Tiamat, Neutron Energy from the US, Altris in Sweden, and a few other startups in China and India. Most of these companies are developing sodium-ion batteries for energy storage systems or power applications. In this video, I would like to discuss some of the major players trying to get hold on the mobile electric vehicle market using sodium-ion batteries. Number 1, CATL. Of course, first on the list is the biggest battery company in the world, CATL. CATL unveiled its first generation sodium-ion battery on July 29, 2021, saying that the energy density of the cell was 160 watt-hours per kilogram. The cell could charge to 80% state of charge in 15 minutes at room temperature at minus 20 degrees C. The cell also has a capacity retention rate of more than 90%. It also has fast charging capability, excellent thermal stability, great low temperature performance, and high integration efficiency. At the product launch in 2021, the company said its next generation sodium-ion battery is expected to deliver an energy density of more than 200 watt-hours per kilogram. With its pioneering AB battery system integration technology, CATL has achieved a mix of sodium-ion and lithium-ion batteries, allowing them to complement each other and thus increasing the energy density of the battery system. This approach is expected to enable sodium-ion batteries to support electric vehicle models with a range of up to 500 kilometers. Models with that range account for 65% of the electric vehicle market share, meaning the use of sodium-ion batteries is promising. From an electrochemistry point of view, I believe another angle to mixing sodium-ion batteries and lithium-ion batteries together in an EV battery pack is that the sodium-ion battery cells will address the low temperature performance issue, and the lithium-ion cells will take care of the need for good performance in daily driving. Auto Shanghai recently shared a photo of CATL's first generation sodium-ion battery cell, and it revealed some information that were previously unavailable. The cell has a capacity of 260 amp hours, an energy density of 160 watt-hours per kilogram, and achieves up to 2,000 cycles. The cells are estimated to be available by the end of this year for use in EVs and for energy storage systems. Additionally, something new was discovered from this photo, which also surprised me as well. It showed the chemistry of the cell as being layered oxide, and this raised questions among the community, saying, as CATL dropped the Prussian white analog that it originally announced. Well, what I gathered is this: CATL is working on 3 types of sodium-ion battery cathode chemistries, and the focus is on layered oxides and Prussian white analogs. Layered oxides for EVs and Prussian whites for energy storage systems. If you would like to know more about these chemistries, watch out for our next videos on the supply chain and materials used for sodium-ion batteries. It is also possible that CATL will use Prussian white analogs for its Generation 1 cells and layered oxides for its Gen 2 sodium-ion battery cells. Another key consideration is that Prussian white analogs have a worse safety profile than layered oxides while being less expensive. So this will go against the key selling point of sodium-ion batteries, which is safety and cost. Therefore, CATL may have discovered this and discovered that Prussian white would operate more safely, which in turn diminish the cost advantage of sodium-ion batteries. This limitation of Prussian whites then makes the higher energy density of layered oxides a superior option. Another point is that the energy density of layered oxides is closer to that of LFPs, which makes it more like a drop-in alternative for systems that are designed around LFPs, which has gained much ground for both energy storage and EVs. Hence, redesigning cost is a good move. Either way, CATL sodium-ion battery will be one of the first choice for electric vehicles powered by sodium. CATL sodium-ion battery will be installed in the first model of Chery's new energy vehicle, the iCar, which is expected to be launched in the fourth quarter of this year, according to reports. The sodium-ion battery will also be used in Chery's small NEVs, such as QQ ice cream and the LIFUN. So that's all on CATL. Our next company is BYD. So BYD's progress in mass production of sodium-ion batteries does not seem to differ much from CATL. Although it has not announced any latest progress, BYD's sodium-ion battery will also be in mass production by the second half of this year, and the first model to carry the battery will be the Seagull. The new models of this car uses the BYD LFP battery blade, which are 30.08 kilowatt hours and 38.88 kilowatt hours in capacity, and they offer 400 kilometers of range. So I believe these capacities can be easily achieved by LFP batteries, can be achieved as well with sodium-ion batteries, although they may be heavier for the same capacity. The sodium-ion battery version of the Seagull is expected to have 300 kilometers of range, which will be about 138 to 186 miles of real-world range, which will be at least 33% less range than the LFP version. But that's still okay. The battery will also be a hybrid of sodium-ion and lithium-ion battery, according to reports. Number 3 on our list is FARADION. FARADION Limited, recently acquired by India's Reliance New Energy, is another forerunner in the development of sodium-ion batteries for stationary storage, on-grid and off-grid, and electric vehicle application. The company develops its own anode and cathode materials in-house and through its corporate investor, Higee. The company uses a mixed phase biphasic nickel-containing cathode material. It develops its own hard carbon anode material as well as its own electrolyte. The unique cathode and the anode materials allows FARADION to achieve a high power and high energy density sodium-ion battery. Through third-party testing, the 0.1 amp hour prototype pouch cell from FARADION delivered an energy density of 190 watt-hours per kilogram at a 1-hour charge and discharge rate, and retained over 78% of its initial capacity after 4,000 cycles at 30 degrees C, while the company's 32 amp hour production line cells recorded an energy density of 160 watt-hours per kilogram at a 2-hour charge and discharge rate, and is forecasted to deliver between 2,300 to 3,000 cycles. Another key selling point of the company's products is its ability to store and transport its cells at 0 volts without the risk of shortening. The company aims to achieve a cell energy density of 200 watt-hours per kilogram in the next few years, perhaps by 2024, I would say. Alright, our next company is HINA Battery from China. As at the time of making this video, HINA remains the first and only company to put a sodium-ion battery pack into an EV, and the company achieved this in a joint venture with JAC and Volkswagen in a sodium-ion battery pack which had a capacity of 25 kilowatt hours and an energy density of 120 watt hours per kilogram. The test vehicle had a maximum speed of 102 kilometers per hour, but the vehicle weight was only 1,000 kilograms. The model has a range of 252 kilometers and supports fast charging of 3C to 4C. Now, I must mention that the 252 kilometer range is most likely on the Chinese test cycle, and this would equate to about 187 kilometers or 116 miles of range on an EPA test cycle. The battery pack was made from cells with an energy density of 140 watt-hours per kilogram. The application of this sodium-ion battery pack in an ultra-compact vehicle like this is because such a small vehicle can squeeze out more range out of this low energy density battery pack. So pretty much they're playing to the advantage of the chemistry there. Using this low energy density sodium ion battery pack in larger vehicles will result in a very limited range, which will definitely throw customers off, which is why they used a low compact vehicle like that. HINA has 3 sodium ion battery cells in the cylindrical and prismatic cell format. These cells have energy densities of 145 watt-hours per kilogram, 146 watt-hours per kilogram, and 155 watt-hours per kilogram respectively. The cycle life of these cells range from 2,000 to 6,000 cycles. They can be discharged to minus 40 degrees C and fast charged from 30% to 80% in 15 minutes. The cells use a copper-based layered oxide as the cathode and a coal-based amorphous carbon as the anode. The company's 1 gigawatt-hour sodium-ion battery production line has been in operation since 2022, and it has a 10,000-ton class production line in construction for cathode and anode electrode production, which will be in operation by Q3 of this year. So guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to show your support. I'm an electrochemical engineer, who currently works a very tight schedule in the battery industry. I'm currently working in the industry, so I have to intentionally create time to make these videos, which is why I haven't made a video in about 3 weeks or so. Apologies for that, but a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel or liked our video. I really appreciate you, and if you haven't, I'm watching you. Please do that right now. Thank you. All right, so moving on. Our next company is LIFUN. Apart from the bigger companies that are very popular in the media, there are smaller companies who are also developing sodium-ion batteries for mobile applications, and one of them is LIFUN Technologies. The company has started mass shipping of its first generation cylindrical sodium-ion batteries, which have a gravimetric energy density of 140 watt-hours per kilogram, 240 watt-hours per liter volumetric energy density, and a cycle life of more than 4,000 cycles. The cells can charge up to 80% of its capacity in 15 minutes and retains up to 88% of its capacity when charge and discharge at negative 20 degrees C, so that's very low temperature. The company is currently receiving mass production orders from customers, including small EV makers, electric bus designers, and household energy storage solution providers. The second generation sodium-ion battery cell of this company aims to achieve 160 watt-hours per kilogram, so that's the same as CATL, and 280 watt-hours per liters in gravimetric energy density, with the same cycle life and fast charge capabilities of the first generation one. LIFUN has also proven that these sodium-ion battery cells will have great over-discharge resistance, can recover from deep discharges to 0 volts, and its capacity could be restored by up to 50% even after reaching minus 4 volts if it experiences over discharge. That's a very good feature. The company plans to begin mass production this year, so let's see how that plays out. Another company that is flying under the radar but developing sodium-ion batteries is Higee. Higee is one of the lithium-ion battery manufacturers in China that are diversifying into the sodium-ion battery space. The company produces 25 amp hours and 100 amp hours sodium-ion battery prismatic cells, which have an energy density of 115 and 120 watt-hours per kilogram respectively, and the cells can achieve a cycle life of more than 1,000 cycles at 0.5 C. So that's 30 minutes charge and discharge. The cells can operate between minus 40 to minus 60 degrees C and can demonstrate fast charge capabilities of up to 2 C with up to 90% efficiency. 0.5 C, that's 2 hours. Sodium-ion battery cells have successfully passed several puncture and fire tests that prove its safety in comparison to lithium-ion batteries. Higee currently has a 2 gigawatt-hour cell production plan for LFP and sodium-ion batteries in China, and it has plans to increase capability to 10 gigawatt-hours in a few years' time. So you can see some LFP battery manufacturers are switching to sodium-ion batteries gradually. The next on our list is Jiangsu HIGHSTAR battery manufacturing in China. The company recently published 3 of its Star series sodium-ion battery cells, which are cylindrical and prismatic cell formats, having a capacity of 1.3, 70, and 80 amp hours. The cells can achieve energy and volumetric densities of up to 135 watt-hours per kilogram and 240 watt-hours per liters, with a cycle life of up to 3,000 cycles. The cells can operate between minus 40 degrees C to minus 25 degrees C with an 80% retention rate and it can achieve up to 3C discharge capabilities. Here you can see the 1C discharge plots of the cell in various temperatures, showing that it has superior cold weather performance to the best low temperature LTO lithium based cells. That's impressive. The cells can be used for energy storage systems like load shedding and UPS backup power, as well as for mobile applications such as golf carts, electric forklifts, and so on. And they have been tested for these applications and proven successful. The company aims to attain an energy and volumetric density of 150 watt-hours per kilogram and 300 watt-hours per liters with 300 cycles at 0.5 C charge and discharge at 70% end of life by next year. The first batch of these cells are currently available, and the next batch of cell samples are expected to be available by the middle of May. Trial mass production is planned for the second half of this year on a 2.5 gigawatt-hour production capability, and mass production is expected by 2024 on an 8.5 gigawatt-hour capacity plant, which will be scaled up to 38.5 gigawatt-hours by 2025. The price of the sample starter sodium-ion battery cells from this company is currently around $150 per kilowatt hours, which will decrease by end of 2023 when mass production begins to $120 per kilowatt hours, and then will decrease to $90 by 2024 and to $60 per kilowatt hours by 2025. So you can sort of see a trajectory there for them. The next company we would look at is ZHONGSODIUM, or ZHONGSODIUM. Jiangsu ZHONGSODIUM Energy Technology Company Limited is a well-known sodium-ion battery company in the industry, and it is headquartered in Suzhou, China. The company showed its sodium-ion battery product series in April this year. The cell has several advantages such as long cycle life, good low temperature performance, fast charging speed, high energy density, and good environmental performance. Under the condition of 2C charge and discharge, the cell is able to achieve more than 1,500 cycles at room temperature, and at negative 20 degrees C, it is able to retain more than 85% of its capacity. The cell has an energy density of 122 watt-hours per kilogram. It uses a polyanionic sodium ferric sulfate cathode material, and it does not contain precious metals such as copper, nickel, vanadium, which means it will be much cheaper to produce. The soft pack sodium-ion battery developed by ZHONGSODIUM Energy successfully passed the challenging needle puncture test for the currently commercially available lithium-ion batteries in a third-party authority and did not smoke, fire, or explode throughout the process. In actual use, the battery will not penetrate when there is a short circuit, and the needle puncture test directly pierces the battery, and in such an extreme case, the battery can still remain stable, which can indicate that in case of internal short circuit, the battery safety is higher. The company plans to mass produce and deliver the cells by July of this year. It already has a 100-ton production plant for its proprietary cathode material. It successfully completed the pilot test verification of the plant in April 2022, and the measured material showed excellent properties. The annual production capacity of the company's production plant is currently up to 1 gigawatt hours for sodium iron sulfate and LFP cathode material production. The last company, but not the least, is Energy Technology, or ET. This company is the first sodium-ion battery manufacturer in the world to publish sodium-ion battery launching date, so that's a long time ago, and invite customers to test sodium-ion battery samples. The company produces cylindrical sodium-ion batteries with screw terminal easy DIY connection, like the one in these pictures. The company has two cylindrical sodium-ion battery cells which have capacities of 8 amp and 19 amp hours with an energy density of 100 watt-hours per kilogram. ET is also one of the few companies that has a sodium-ion battery pack. It has a sodium-ion battery pack that has a 60 volts, 18 amp hour sodium-ion battery pack, which has an energy density of 90 watt-hours per kilogram and can be used for low-speed 2 and 3-wheeler EV applications. So you can expect that because the energy density is quite low, and I'm sure the volumetric energy density is also not so high. Gen 1 of the company's sodium-ion battery uses sodium manganese oxide, NaMnO2 layered oxide as the cathode electrode and hard carbon as the anode electrode. It uses an aluminum 4 substrate and sodium hexafluorophosphate as the electrolyte. ET plans to improve the cell energy density to 155 watt-hours per kilogram by the end of this year, and it is targeting $40 per kilowatt-hours cost of production by 2026. The company currently has a 1 gigawatt-hour cell production facility with plans to gradually increase capacity to 5 gigawatt-hours in 2023 and 50 gigawatt-hours in 2025. All right, so that completes the companies that we're going to look at in this video. And I will put the link to this company's website in the description so you can have a look at them. Again, if you'd like to see more information about the electrode materials or the products that these companies are using as their cathode and anode electrodes and things like that, watch out for our next video on the supply chain of sodium-ion batteries. To give my perspective on these videos and on these companies, these are some of the major companies developing sodium-ion batteries for the EV market, and although these companies have achieved a lot and there's so much more in the future for sodium-ion batteries, I think double the weight of the lithium-ion battery for the same capacity, 2/3 of the cycle life of lithium-ion batteries in some cases. These are just not good enough performances for a battery that will be put into electric vehicles, considering the range demand that people have today. So there's a reason why most sodium-ion battery companies, advertise only the gravimetric energy density in watt-hours per kilogram and not the volumetric energy density in watt-hours per liters. And this is because, for most electric vehicles, volumetric energy density is perhaps the first or the second most important requirement. Because the more space a cell takes up for a given energy density, the fewer cells you can squeeze under a vehicle, which in turn dictates the range of the EV. So cost per kilowatt hours is the priority for ESS, or for energy storage and grid storage. So sodium-ion battery has a very good chance for this, but because of their low volumetric energy density, at least for those that have showed theirs so far, they have a limited application for EVs. But it is very likely that the first few electric vehicles that would use sodium-ion batteries will be budget Chinese commuter vehicles, which need to be as cheap as possible and where range is not a big consideration. But as energy density increases, I'm sure it would expand beyond Chinese commuter vehicles to Chinese sedans and vehicles in Western markets eventually. How soon do I see sodium-ion batteries in electric vehicles on a massive scale? I would say not until the next 3 to 7 years from today, and that is with an offering of about 300 miles of real-world range. I'm increasingly convinced, however, that diversifying battery chemistries, will be the major enabler for the EV industry to reach proper full-scale mass production by overcoming raw material supply limitations surrounding current lithium-ion technologies. In conclusion, I would say let's see how things play out for sodium-ion batteries when it comes to EV applications. At least until the product is sufficiently proven in electric vehicles, no doubt the future is certainly bright for sodium-ion batteries, but for now I think they have a good grip, or they would have a good grip when eventually it's massively scaled in grid storage and for residential applications. But for EVs, I think there's still more to the story to be told, and let's see how it all unfolds. I would like to know your thoughts about the companies we discussed so far and the potential of sodium-ion batteries in electric vehicles, vis-a-vis its competition with lithium-ion batteries. So drop us a comment in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video, please show your support by smashing the like button, sharing this video with a friend, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. I love you. I appreciate you.